Russia, announcing that they are officially launching their crypto blockchain-based settlement system for trade between the BRICS nations. We have BRICS announcing a new blockchain-based crypto payment system. And these guys, the BRICS nations, are tired of the monopoly of the US, the superpower they control they have over all of the nations. And this is why we have BRICS making their own payment systems. And that way, they don't have to use SWIFT in the US dollar anymore. And this is very threatening to the US as we have de-dollarization happening. And because of this, guys, we could see a war breaking out, possibly WW3. So we can see here, guys, we have the entire payment systems of all of the nations. We have Brazil, India, China, and South Africa. We have, for South Africa, we have the Pan-African Payment Settlement Systems, PAPSS. For China, we have IBPS, Internet Banking Payment System. For India, UPI, Unified Payment Interface. And last but not least, for Brazil, we have PIX, which is PAG Brazil. And none of these systems have SWIFT or the USD. That is massive, massive stuff. Instead, they will be using cryptocurrencies instead, digital assets such as XRP. And all the proof is right here. So first off, we have Russia officially drafting plans to create a digital BRICS payment platform to counter the US dollar. And we have BRICS unveiling the new system based on crypto. Specifically, we have ISO 2022 implementation accelerating the development of BRICS' new system. And ISO recognized cryptocurrencies will achieve higher trading volumes, plus will gain a widespread adoption. So Ripple was the first body member to join the ISO 222. And this means that only ISO 2022 compliant tokens will survive. And the other thousands of tokens out there will not survive and go to zero. So these are all of the ISO compliant tokens. We have number 1, XRP, Cardano, Quant, Algo, Stellar XLM, HBAR, IOTA, and XDC. So we should see these digital assets being implemented into the new financial system. We have BRICS and the new financial system using all of these digital assets. And we have more mentions of ISO 2022 and digital currencies bypassing the usage of the US dollar. And once again, guys, the BRICS nations will be using XRP for their payment systems. We have straight from the BRICS journal, an official BRICS document. We had the mention of the usage of the XRP ledger, the XRP ledger using XRP. There we go, guys. All the proof is here. We also have the BRICS nations working with Ripple partners. For example, we have Ripple launches crypto-enabled enterprise payments in Brazil with Travelex Bank, Mercury to boost remittance time and money savings to South Africa using on-demand liquidity, which is a product by Ripple. Indian bank Kotak taps Ripple for instant international remittances, and we even have Ripple partners with Chinese payment provider Lian International. All these guys are using XRP, and we had an official document from Russia mentioning the XRP ledger and XRP. We have more proof as well. We have Brazil with Travelex Bank, on-demand liquidity partner. We have the Bank of Russia payment system using ISO. We have India with FIS NES Bank. For China, we have Tranglo, which is a Ripple on-demand liquidity partner operating on Hong Kong faster payment system. We have Temenos as well. And for South Africa, we have First Rand and Standard Bank. Many connections with Ripple partners and the BRICS nations. And we have from Gold Telegraph, Zimbabwe publicly expressing interest in joining BRICS and is now considering backing its currency with gold. We have the gold-backed standard coming back, and we can see, guys, that the BRICS nations are overtaking the G7 countries in terms of GDPs. So soon the power will be transferred from the West to the East. And this was all predicted by BG123, the biggest XRP driller. We have a picture of reverse BG123 and his Twitter banner back in 2018, and we have a picture of BRICS. Everything we see is all pre-planned, and we even had this back in 2019. Let's take a look.
It's what's being discussed now, which is the payment processing system. So really what they're competing with is the SWIFT bank system, right? So right now, if you're sending money overseas from a US bank, you have to use, or any Western country, you use that SWIFT system that is set up in Belgium. And that prevents money laundering in theory and all that kind of thing. But what the BRICS nations are doing is saying, well, we don't need to use the SWIFT system because we don't want to be subjected again to US sanctions, because if the US is sanctioning you, you can't move money using that SWIFT system. So what's really interesting is, number one, they're creating a payment system that would go around SWIFT. But how do you do that when you have 5 major countries that all have their own currencies? And one of the ways they're doing that is by using possibly cryptocurrency to do that. That would translate their currencies into a single cryptocurrency that is then used through the system and then formulated, I guess, when it gets into their country back into their own personal currency. So essentially, you're taking currency from one, sending it through as a cryptocurrency, and then back on the other end, transforming it into another currency. And that allows them, again, to get around this SWIFT system in a way that no one had really thought about in the past, because crypto already has all of those things in place.
Now, Russia in particular, they've been moving away from the U.S. dollar. In fact, in the last 5 years, Russia actually cut out almost half of its trade payments in U.S. currency, from 92% to about 50%. So what does this say about its relationship, if any, with the West?
Well, I think it says that, that Russia specifically really started pushing this after 2014, right? Because in 2014, the U.S. started hitting Moscow with sanctions, and they wanted to punish. And remember how this works. Sanctions are issued against individual countries. They're also issued against leaders in those countries or wealthy people in those countries. And so when leaders in those countries and wealthy people in those countries start getting hit with sanctions, you have a choice. You can either go along with this and comply, or you can say, let's create a system that no longer gives you leverage over us. Well, one thing that the U.S. is doing a very poor job of right now is recognizing that it's not just Russia or just China, but there are 5 major nations and dozens of smaller nations that are very excited about the idea of no longer being under U.S. dominance when it comes to currency, and we're not doing anything about it. At this point, the U.S. is resisting on almost every level any push to change the way the system is currently.
That is it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.